Hi, Roy here on my channel Roy Reads Anything, where I talk about books and things like books about which I'm enthusiastic. This time, DC Originals Monopoly. So, some friends of ours were having a clear out, and I was messaged about would I want this Monopoly game, which was still in its cellophane wrapper. And initially I said, actually, thanks, but no, don't really like Monopoly. And I don't enjoy it as a game. Seems to me, once you start not winning, that's it, game over. You know, just not my cup of tea. But was messaging back and forth, sort of wondering how this particular, what was going to be superheroic about it, and how did it work. So in the end, given that it was on its way to a charity shop anyway, the agreement is I'm going to have a look at it now, going to unbox it, have a chat about it, and then I will give it to the charity shop. So having stripped it of its value by opening it, um, we'll see. So yes, Monopoly DC Originals. And then it's got this artwork which not really to my taste in terms of drawing style. It seems to be neither one thing nor the other. It's not got the poke you get from modern superhero art, and it hasn't got the charm of genuinely old stuff. But I looked up this DC Originals. So basically, it's a Warner Brothers brand that is the one they use for merchandise for using these sort of classic characters. A pedant would say, "Well, these aren't the originals. That's not Jay Garrick. Where's his metal helmet?" There were older versions of the superheroes. Basically, it says in their brand fact sheet that they're using 80s Saturday morning cartoon style artwork is the sort of idea. So for lunchboxes, stationery, that sort of thing, drinkware, aimed at it says aimed at tweens. This is what you get. So DC Originals Monopoly. Let's have a look at what's inside. Um, so yeah, you've got a basically the back shows us the board, but we'll be looking at the actual board in a minute. So let's get inside using the scalpel of opening. We do have quite a few scalpels lying around the house. Not that we're surgeons or murderers, but we do a lot of craft work, and proper a proper scalpel is great if you're cutting things up. Try and put it down somewhere sensible. Okay, so let's see what you find inside DC Originals Monopoly. I'll put this behind me. Okay, so let's see. Well, there's a wad of Monopoly money, which has been customised. So it's Monopoly DC Originals Edition, various superheroes flying in from one side. What they could have done is put a picture of Superman's dog on this, and then they could have called it cryptocurrency.
You've been thinking about that for a long time.
No, that just spontaneously came to me just now. Okay, then these look like the cards. I think I will have to open those up, because what they've written on the cards will be a lot of how they've customised the game, really. So
Careful with that axe usually.
look. Oh, well, it's like opening a packet of cigarettes from the pre-king size era of cigarettes. Right. So, what they seem to have done is you've got Daily Planet cards, which are like the good ones, and you've got what they call, well, those are the title deeds. Oh yeah, and then there's Rogues Gallery, so those are like the bad ones. Isn't it Chance and Community Chest or something? So you could, for instance, you could break into LexCorp's headquarters and seize its safety vault, collect 200 monopolies. You could advance to go. The Penguin has set time bombs across your property. To save them, pay a ransom of 40 for each detective agency and 115 for each hideout. Yes, so instead of houses and hotels, it's hideouts and detective agencies, although the little things are still the same, green and red buildings. So they've sort of gone halfway. I must admit, I come before you as someone who was once involved in commissioning a special Monopoly game. But if you're just sort of regular Joes off the street, you only really get to customise the printed stuff. Whereas here you get little figures, little busts of the superheroes. So those are the players. So instead of like a Pat or Battleship or whatever they are, you could be Flash, Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, or for any females playing, you could be Wonder Woman. Okay. Yep. Don't lose them. Then the board, which has probably got most of the artwork on it. So here we go. So I must admit this is pretty colourful and nice. Superman flying towards us, and emerging from Superman's solar plexus is the Monopoly Man. Kind of an irony here, twofold irony. One is that in his early days, Superman would often be fighting landlords. So greedy landlords were one of the early Superman adversaries. There's a series that Dishelves by Adam White is doing, looking at some Golden Age comics, and I'll try and remember to put a link to that down below. So yeah, Superman used to be the enemy of landlords, and Monopoly itself allegedly started off as the landlord's game.
Yep.
Or at least it was based on that, and that was to show the evils of capitalism.
Yep.
Now we're embracing it wholeheartedly.
It's invented by a Quaker.
There you go. So you also get some other superhero pictures. The Flash is running out at us. There's Wonder Woman, Batman and Robin swinging towards us with their smiling faces and medium-sized ears on the bat cowl. Well, it's been written that you can tell what type of Batman story it's going to be based on the length of the ears, you see. If the ears are long, he's being grim and vengeful, which at the beginning, and again I refer you to Dishelves by Adam White and his Golden Age comic series, the very early days he was pretty grim avenger, great big long ears. Then the ears go shorter as he gets friendly and smiling and has Robin as a pal. And then really during the Adam West era, the ears are like tiny. And then in the 80s, when it all went, the Dark Knight and all that sort of stuff, that period we still seem to be stuck in, the ears could get really long again. Sometimes absurdly long, like 3 feet long.
No.
Don't get me started on cape length. But here, ears aren't that long, and See, I wouldn't pose like that if I was Robin, but
No.
then you get Supergirl. Supergirl in a absolutely 80s incarnation with not only big hair but also an Olivia Newton-John style headband, which is pretty amazing.
Holy heckfire.
Anyway, yeah, that's the artwork, and then the squares you go round. Obviously, they're not London streets anymore. They're not all places, you know. I mean, you probably could, to entertain like 5 nerds in the world, do a Monopoly game with all DC Comics places. You'd have like Keystone City and Opal City and things like that. But in fact, the squares are often people, they're heroes. Um, they seem to be mainly heroes. Then you get these Daily Planet cards, stuff like Pay a Ransom. Yeah, then you get things like Kryptonite. Kryptonite is gonna that'll cost you 200 things. Various baddies. So the in jail, rather than the famous unlucky looking criminal of normal Monopoly, is the Riddler. Darkseid is there. So to me, having Darkseid as a regular baddie and costing 100, the same as Two-Face, less than General Zod, is not really, you know, Darkseid in the comics is almost a existential level threat. I think if you're true to the source material, if you landed on that square, all the players would forfeit everything, and then you'd burn the board or something. But see, we could adopt that as a local variant, I suppose. Oh yeah, free parking is now free parking for the Batmobile. There's Supergirl again, headband era Supergirl.
Batman the only one with an actual vehicle?
Oh, Batgirl rides, I think, a motorbike. Yeah, Wonder Woman has an invisible aeroplane.
Oh, of course, silly me.
Not so sure about the baddies. They'd have all sorts of things, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Darks, the new gods travel around by something called a boom tube. So yes, that is what it looks like. Though they've gone some way towards customizing it. Obviously, in effect, it's a skinned Monopoly game with the same gameplay. I think every single you could buy Monopoly on any theme known to humanity, and that's what you're basically going to get, which is obviously what people want. You wouldn't want to relearn the rules. Yes, I don't feel motivated to save it from the charity shop, to be honest. Just looking at Daily Planet, take a trip to Planet Mars. If you pass go. Oh, Planet Mars is one of the. So that is a place. Fair enough. Yes, Mars is one of the places on the board. Yeah, Aquaman gives you 150 reward for returning some stolen Atlantis relics.
Not stolen fish.
So no, not the crazy fish action we found in that Lois Lane comic.
Just make a
I
ladder
think
out
it
of
could
the
have been.
hills.
I think they could have made this more fun if they wanted to, but it is what it is. Let's not cheat the charity shop of the little figures.
That's the best thing, isn't it?
Yeah, the little heads aren't bad. You could paint them, I suppose.
And people probably do.
All right. I need to find a super elastic band now to reattach the little cards together. So that is DC Originals Monopoly. I think I'll probably do more comics related things about actual comics. So back in a bit with something else. Yeah, the very next thing I do won't be comics related, but there's probably more comics on the horizon. That's just the way it is. Okay, thanks everybody.